So welcome to the inside van tour of our 2016 Mercedes Sprinter 170 wheelbase. It's a 4-cylinder engine, diesel, and I'll show you up front in the cab area. It's very much a standard Mercedes cab. The Sprinter, we got armrests, we got bi-xenon headlights, got Bluetooth in here, the 4 keys that come with the car. We've added in RAM mounts right there and over here so we can store a cell phone and tablet. It's great for navigation. And we've got some non-slip material up on the dash so that it doesn't reflect so much on the dashboard on the window. And that white antenna thingy that you see over there, it's part of our Wi-Fi system that we have in the van. And that will enable us to connect up to the house Wi-Fi or to Starbucks or to A&W or to McDonald's and use their Wi-Fi for free. We use an air cube in here too. That's more to be discussed in a future video. So that's very much what we have. We have storage up top, nothing fancy, just the base Mercedes cab. A little garbage we've got stored underneath the floor mats. Floor mats are very easy to clean in the Sprinter. And that's the cab portion. Moving on to the midship of the Sprinter. Got 3 seats for the crew cab option of the Sprinter. Comfortably seats 3 people. And we've got a window covering on the side. We've got our jackets hanging, some hats, extra blankets on the seat for when we travel. From an electrical point of view, we've got the Orion Smart DC to DC charger from Victron. And we've got the Victron BlueSmart charger. We use the BlueSmart charger to charge up the main car battery when we're parked. And we use the Orion to charge up our Yeti 1000 from Goal Zero while we drive. And that's a really neat feature that has helped us keep our battery running without having to use solar, because we don't use solar on this vehicle. So this is a different kind of van build. Instead of using 80/20 or wood or framing, we just buy off-the-shelf components from Amazon and Home Depot and just strap them in using Erickson straps. They're heavy duty, and we use the D points right here. And all it is, just a ratchet strap, which we can ratchet things down, and it holds this cabinet. It's filled with all our goods, and it just straps over on top of the cabinet. This is a used Home Depot cabinet that we've picked up cheap, and we put non-slip on here. We have a sink, removable sink. There's no drain in here whatsoever, and when we're camping, what we do is just chuck this water out and put this nicely back. When we go home or somewhere else, we clean that out and make sure it's all clean. And nothing fancy here. We've installed water faucet, and those little things are hair ties that we use to close these curtains. This tap is from Amazon. It was $16 US, so we picked it up really cheap. We've got a filtration system in here too for drinking water. And we also have a little funnel. So the times that we're in and around people and we can't dump our water outside the side of our van, we have a little black container. We put Thetford blue stuff in there, and then it doesn't stink, and we get rid of it after every trip or after every second trip. And that's how we deal with water. We also have a little shower head, which is great for showering. So if you want to take a quick shower outside, you can do that. And you just clip it up there and everything's there. Now for the hoses, nothing fancy. It's not a professional job. All we wanted to do was be able to use this van for van life. In terms of insulation, what we've done is taken hardy board from Home Depot, and the white stuff that you see way up here is called Thermowrap from Tyvek. And instead of buying the more expensive insulation options that are out there, we've used this. We've used Reflectix. Maybe not in the best way to do it, but it works. We have a diesel heater in here. We have a light from Costco that we connect up to our Goal Zero battery that's on top of our D2 diesel heater. And this is our kitchen area. As we explained earlier, this is our sink. If we want to run water, we can run water through here. We have a 12-volt pump from Remco, 2.1 gallons per minute. And then if we want to get rid of the water and drain it, all we do is throw it out this way and put the sink back. There's no drainage needed. We don't have tanks underneath the van that will freeze up here in Canada. And it works. If we want something to drink, some clean, fresh, filtered water, we use this. A little bit slow. We just want to upgrade our filters one day and get a little bit quicker. So in order to get rid of this, again, just throw it out, put the sink back, there we go. Usual kitchen stuff that we have here, some soap for hand washing, some soap for dishwashing, a little scrubby, and toothbrushes, toothpaste, cups, and these, for those who are van lifers already, will be very familiar with this. Kirkland wipes, so French side. And so these are just baby wipes. We keep those good for washing your hands, cleaning up things in the van, and washing yourself. For cooking, we use this amazing Iwatani 35FW. It's very high BTU, starts up really quick, and all it does is use regular canisters of butane. In terms of garbage, we just use one of the green recycle bins that we have from the house. Got an extra one from the city, and we use that. We use Costco clear bags for trash containers, and we use that and get rid of it wherever we are. There's always a garbage close by. These fans are really amazing. We looked at the Campervan fans. Didn't want to pay $200-300 Canadian for a fan. These are $30 Canadian off Amazon, and all it is just a 2-speed fan, and they run off just a regular USB power brick. Very simple. I have a fire extinguisher that's in here for safety. We haven't had to use this one. For light, we usually use this. We have a higher capacity light. It's from Milwaukee. Red Lithium XC 6 amp battery for M12. And the nice thing about this, we can take this out easily. Just disconnect the battery, take the light out, and use it at home. I have all equipment from Milwaukee, and it's very handy. Of course, when you use Milwaukee equipment, you'll be getting a lot of the chargers as part of the kits, and we have a spare battery in here in case this one dies. So we charge that up using our Goal Zero Yeti 1000, and this has just been a beast. It's been an amazing battery. You'll see here, I've got a connector right here. That's connected up to the Victron Orion DC to DC charger, and this charges at about 330 watts consistently, and as we drive. So there's no solar panels on this van. There's no roof rack. We're completely stealth. The only thing that would give this away is the diesel heater running during the winter months. In terms of refrigeration, all we did was buy an open box dorm fridge from Home Depot locally. It's about $60. And this is always on, literally always on. We have yogurt in here currently, some sausages, butter, mayonnaise, and this is always on. It's a great beer fridge as well, and this is powered again just by the Goal Zero. So as long as we're using this van, this battery is fully charged, almost fully charged, and it keeps the fridge running. We strapped this Goal Zero down using ratchet straps. We've got some safety harnesses there so that it doesn't fall out or get jostled when we go over the trails. And we've also got it locked so nobody can easily steal it if they break in. So in terms of blackout curtains, what I did was take a piece of Reflectix, make it as big as the window. I didn't have some black fabric, so I just used landscaping fabric that I had handy around the house. I covered it. We hold it up with some magnets on this side, and the other window we've done differently. What we did was take plastiboard. It's a plastic board that we cut to the size of the window, put some Reflectix on it, and then pressure fit it in, and it keeps out most, if not all, the light when we have it in the van at night. Shelving. What we did was go to Home Depot and find shoe racks. So these shoe racks can hold all our goods and food, clothing, whatever you want. And the only disadvantage with these are when we're going over a trail, sometimes they'll open up, they'll bang, but that would be an easy fix if we just put something up here and held it together. But it's not been a problem, so we've left it the way it is. And we've got a total of 2, 4, 6, and 8 of these cabinets. 3 of them I bought. They're about $60 for the package of 3. And I found 5 others on the side of the road, believe it or not. And they worked out really, really well. And it stores all our clothes, all our things that we need. And it's been a godsend. So we have the Digimax 1000. It's from Espar. And that controls the Espar heater that's in the cage just below the Yeti 1000. And if I need to service the heater, all I do is take apart the Yeti 1000, take that off, I take apart the wire cage, and then I can do full service myself on the D2 heater. Very simple to do. A lot of learning process. You can take a look on our website of the learning experiences we've gone through, some tips, etc., and lots of pictures. Should help you if you have one of these heaters. So this is part of the kitchen countertop. We've got just below here cabinet drawers, and this is just a regular Husky limited edition tool chest. It's lockable, very simple. It locks, opens up, and this is where we store our butane, our camera, some battery chargers. In this drawer, we'll keep tuna. So if we're hungry, we've got our food here. In here, some fish, sardines, got rice in the red container, oatmeal, Taco Bell sauce, foil, some green tea, just stuff that you'd normally have at home, we brought along with us. In this cabinet, we've got some honey, we've got a pot for water, a pot for steaming, a carbon steel pan that's amazing on this butane burner. We've got glass bowls here, peanut butter, some extra water. In this cabinet, we just use the microfiber towels from Kirkland. We have gloves in here. We've got these handy bags from Costco. We've got the Campervan that keeps our toilet from smelling. Garbage bags, toilet paper, just really handy. In this cabinet, instead of doing dishes, we just use paper plates. So if we've got like a drier type of food, we just use these thinner plates. They're about 2 cents each. They're the thicker plates. They're about 10 cents each, but it prevents us from having to use too much water when we wash dishes, and just makes things a little bit easier in van life. We've got some vitamin pills, of course, extra vitamin D3 for COVID prevention, Ziploc bags, all sorts of stuff. So our toilet is just a simple Thetford curve model. It's just very simple to take apart, service, and empty. Very simple to do. What we do, we've got enough space on this countertop. We remove the sink. I put a cloth over here. I just simply disconnect the top portion of the toilet. I stick that up here, and then I disconnect the entire toilet set. I put a base in here, and that just lifts out. I dump that into any washroom that we have access to. When we're at home, we'll just dump it into the house washroom, or if we're on the road, we just go into a park and then just dump from there. So this is our bed. We've got a queen size bed here. It's memory foam mattress. It's very thick, and all we're using is a standard Zinus queen size quick connect frame. Very simple. And initially we got the 16-inch version, and we raised them with some extra beams of metal. So if we just look over here, you can see an extra bit of metal. We've just raised them up about 6 inches, 8 inches high, so we can store our water system, which I'll go into in a few minutes. So this is our little hat rack. Store our hats. An emergency kit from Costco. Another one of the cabinets up top, so I can store my eyeglasses, and I can store my cell phone and charge it while I sleep at night. Got privacy curtains in the back. Keeps things nice and warm too when it's cold outside. All I did was put Reflectix in the corners just to keep the heat in. These little lights, just from Costco, and they're on a remote control. So if we need to, we can control all 6 of them, switch them off, we can dim them. Very simple. Just use AAA batteries, 3 each, and they last a while. We don't use that much light in here anyway. We use this van to sleep and to travel in. So with the doors wide open in the back of the Sprinter, we've just got some simple Reflectix stuck on there with some Velcro. So we can take those off, clean in behind there. It's our privacy curtain that I talked about just earlier. And here's our bed frame. We've got a scrap piece of metal, got them cut up to size. Put some bolts through it so we can always raise it or lower it if we need to. And these are the ratchet straps I was telling you about. We just hold these ratchets. These ratchets just hold the bed in place. We've got 3 of them, and it's very sturdy. It doesn't move. Of course, it goes back and forth a bit here, but it just stays stable while we drive. No problem. These are kegs. These are Pepsi kegs. You can use them for brewing, but we've got water in here. And all these are just ball lock connectors. And we've got 4 of them in here. Each one is 5 gallons or about 20 liters of water. And we just simply disconnect them. And very simple to do. There's an in and an outlet. On the outlet side, this is where the water comes out from the keg and goes in, and it goes into our Irwin tool storage box. Inside there, I've got a Remco pump and a water filter tucked away. And it's in a box just to keep things safe. And if something does leak, it's not going to be leaking all over the van. It's just going to leak inside the cabinet. So again, these containers, I got the idea from the Everlanders. If you watch their YouTube show, very interesting channel. And I got the idea where they just use Pepsi kegs and use them for water. So that's where the idea came from. And all I do is just strap these in with just some lower end straps. They're sturdy here, so while we drive, they're not going to be tipping over. And we can empty these out, clean them out easily, and carry them to water source, or when we're at home, just come up from this side of the van and just fill it up by taking the tops off. Very simple, and we've got it balanced so that we've got 10 gallons on one side, 10 gallons on the other side, easily expandable, or we can remove things if we get too cold or want to just take everything out. The nice thing about this build that we found is by strapping in everything that we've got, nothing is permanent. So the things that are permanent in the van are the Espar heater and the chairs up front, but everything else can be taken out. The bench seat can be taken out, the kegs can be taken out, the water pump and tool chest can be taken out easily, just unscrewed from the floor. So if you need to, you can take the entire bed out. The fridge can be unscrewed from the floor very simply. So in less than an hour, you can take the entire inside out and move in cabinets or furniture or whatever you need. We've done that with a lot of firewood in the past, and it's been really handy to have. It's a different kind of build that we've ever seen on YouTube. We've done about 135,000 kilometers on the van, and most of the stuff that you see in the van has driven with us all this time. And it's been a really good, simple, and fairly inexpensive build to be able to do van life. So it would be nice to have the $200,000 Airstreams, but honestly, this works, and it's been good to us. We're always improving, finding things that don't work, finding things that will work well, and that's it. What we have here as well is the damp rid, and we use this to absorb moisture in the van. And what I've done is, after a while these get filled with water. I've taken salt, calcium chloride, which is used for snow melting, put some landscaping fabric over it so it can still breathe, and this will absorb the moisture and put it in the bottom of this container, and it reduces the amount of moisture in our van. So underneath the seats, we've got some bottles of water that we use when we drive, unsalted cashews for snacks, a little step in case we have visitors that can't easily get up the inside of the van. We've got some plates, some extra wipes, and down here, that little box is a power over Ethernet from Ubiquity, and that powers our antenna that we use to get Wi-Fi inside the van. And as I mentioned before, this is our BlueSmart charger. It's 12 volts, 15 amps from Victron. Really good, configurable over Bluetooth. It's waterproof and just sits on our floor. You can use this to power or charge other batteries that are in the house, like motorcycles or our other car. This box is our Orion TR Smart. It's a 12 volt, to 24 volt converter at 15 amps. It's isolated. It's a DC to DC charger, and it's very simple to power. There's 2 wires on the left over here that go right to the car battery. There's no fuse connected to those wires because this unit itself is internally fused, this particular model, so be careful if you're buying a higher end model. And then there's 2 wires that go all the way to the Yeti 1000, and I've got an Anderson plug vertically stacked, and that powers it. So I've got this set for 20 volts. The Yeti will take between 15 to 22 volts as a max. This thing will produce up to 24 volts, so I'm going over if I set it to that. But on the Victron Connect app, I can set it to between 20 to 24 volts. I've chose to set it to 20, and that just charges the Yeti. It's really safe. This thing does get hot. This curtain here doesn't go over, but this thing does get hot, and I wish they had a fan on it, but it doesn't, so just the way it is, but it works really well. So if we start up the van, I'll show you how the DC to DC charger works. So the van's running. We'll head over to the Yeti. See the input is currently at 0 watts. The blue light comes on, it starts charging, it ramps up 327 watts while the engine is running. It goes up to about 340 so far. This plug powers our water pump. These are just USBs. This one powers our fridge. This one powers the Wi-Fi and charges other batteries from Milwaukee. Just leave that unplugged if we're not using it. And this plug right here is the vertical stacked Anderson plug that basically powers the Yeti. And the nice thing is we don't need solar, so when we're driving, this just charges up. We're never in any one spot for more than 2-3 days anyway, and if we are, we just circle around the neighborhood for a while, charge it up if we need to, or unplug devices if we're really short on power. In Vancouver, in the winter months, we don't get that much sun, so solar panels wouldn't be worth it. And in the summertime, we normally go on very long drives, so this charges the Yeti up all the way. So that's how that works. If you're interested, leave some comments below. Let me know if you want some more details on this setup. Be happy to provide it for you. Another thing we have in the van is something called soft pull. And these are just paper towels, just what you see in restaurants or commercial facilities. And all it is, just paper towel roll that we use. And lots of sheets on here, and lasts for several months before having to replenish it. So these are our curtains that we use. We just got them from Walmart, hemmed them so that they don't hang too low, and we just use hair ties to close the curtains. So we use one there, another there, and we use some magnets that we picked up. Put them up against there. Put some metal in behind the weather stripping, and hemmed in the magnets. Just a piece of metal, Here's the magnet inside. This has been here for about 3 years at least. Very little, if no light comes through here at all at night. We don't really light up the whole van at night anyway. We just have the Milwaukee light running and those little other lights. Sometimes if we really need lots of light, we'll use the LED light, but that uses up a lot of power. But that's our van tour. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And we can do a part 2 if needed. These Sprinter vans, even though we paid about $50,000 for this, it's been an amazing vehicle. And to get out, to go out anywhere you want. It's not clean right now. We just got back from Whistler. And we're just in a cul-de-sac. Late afternoon, December 1st. It's about 3 p.m. The sun heading down. These amazing vehicles to drive in. Very fuel efficient. Get about 10 liters per 100 kilometers. About 23 miles per gallon or so. Gets up Pikes Peak in Colorado. It goes up to Whistler, Pemberton, Lillooet, Prince George. It's been an amazing vehicle.